I am pure awareness, pure consciousness. This is gonna be just a really timeless video, a flowful video. Just tuning into that I am eternal beingness, right? And I'm gonna really just channel to the best of my ability what can come through. What can come through. You see, once you let go of the person, you become the presence. Once you let go of the thinker, you become the awareness of the thought. Awareness is aware, right? And it's almost going beyond the play, the play of the Maya. I had something to read to you guys real quick before I get into this. There was a page from a book, R.J. Spina, Access Super Consciousness. What is self-mastery? Self-mastery is the individualized totality and completeness of existence tangibly known at your command. Liberation and transcendence over the human condition are achieved through mind-body integration with your I am, your eternal beingness. Self-mastery does not remove you from the human experience. It affords you the ability to greatly minimize, if not totally transcend, its effects upon you. If not totally transcend its effects upon you in a very real and practical way. Self-mastery gives you the ever-present moment-to-moment ability to always be rooted in something far greater and infinitely more powerful than just your wants, beliefs, intellect, and physical body. Self-mastery gives you the direct access, utilization, and unification with the eternal, immortal, and undefeatable I am. God is, which is you. Self-mastery carries you across hurricane waters with joy and lightness in your heart and a clear mind. No more perpetual exhaustion due to your human character swimming harder and harder against a current that doesn't exist. The purpose of integrating the higher consciousness metaphysics of self-mastery is to greatly increase the quality of your entire life, every facet from moment to moment, now and forever, in every single way. Authentic enlightenment or self-realization is full communion with your higher self. It is part of the journey and evolution of consciousness that can eventually bloom into true self-mastery, which is the only game being played, by the way. It's like power washing the dirty windshield of your screen of consciousness in the purification of energy. It is tangibly seeing and understanding the self and therefore the greater reality with clarity, connectivity, calmness, communion, and courage perpetually. So I wanted to say that before I really just kind of flow. We're sitting really meditation and really just coming to that revelation, that everything just is. It's this field of infinite intelligence, this interconnectedness, and I felt this download coming through that this I am, God is really playing not only as you, but you see there's only one consciousness here expressing itself in many faces, in many expressions, in many frequencies. And I found that the main bondage was in the separation, that there is an other here, that there is something else outside, when really it's that co-creative perception that when you see something outside of you, therefore it stays. But if you realize it is within you, there it always was. So you do not have a life, you are life itself, you are the life force. The mind-body complex is just a house for divinity. Knowing you're the source energy being, this is a purification of perception, right? Correct perception of yourself. Not as the character, not as the person, but as the presence, as that source energy. So I find myself really just relaxing, resting, flowing, not chasing, not striving, not seeking, and not even looking. And you get to a point of non-thought where you don't need to think because you know. You don't need to emotionalize because you're loving, right? Once the dreamer awakens in the dream, one becomes lucid. A lot of us, it's very interesting once we come into this incarnation that we get so identified with this ego. You know, we get so entrenched in the senses, you know, and everything that is around us, not realizing it is simply a outer reflection of the inner manifestation. So you are all gods and goddesses hearing this. This is that realization we're coming to. That there's nothing lacking, there's nothing missing, there's nothing outside of you. You go from doing out of impulse to flowing from intuitive action. That's what I'm feeling. And when you get to this level within yourself, you will see through the illusion of judgment. You will see through the false self that there's an other here. Everyone is you pushed out. And I'm just holding that presence right now, man. I'm holding that be still and know that I am. Things will flow spontaneously and intuitively. This is the type of action that I'm starting to really kind of look in. Not the one that used to, you know, just impulsively get up, you know, the ego mind identity just freaking out. But I'm seeing it's really the state of consciousness that we are in determines the degree of perception that we're able to obtain, that we're able to literally pierce through the dream. I watched Inception for the second time last night. Damn near almost teared up at the end. It was super good. But the download, the foreshadow in that, and this hit me a minute ago. I didn't quite wrap my mind around it. But I'm seeing, man, once the dreamer wakes up in the dream, one can become lucid, man. What the heck does that mean? It's when you realize that the way we're experiencing our life is really just the way that we're experiencing ourself, our own internal vibration. So the degree of frequency that you're operating in is going to create the degree of the experience that you are capable of having. But getting over the separation is the number one part. It's really funny. We came down here and hallucinated that we're separate from the source, you know, we're separate from each other, we're separate from the totality of that. And just really feel that, you know what I mean? No thinker. Pure awareness. You know what I mean? Pure awareness. No, it's not to neglect or negate the physical experience, but it's honestly to have this awareness, to immerse into it even deeper, to go into it even deeper. Finding myself resting more. I find myself into that stillness where I don't know really, you know? I don't know, you know? But it's like the knower and the knowing are both one and the same. So you are an indirect fractal of this source energy that is a unique expression. Imagine, you know, the absolute, right? The source, fractalized into a billion pieces. All the same power. I like this analogy, sprinkling a bunch of spices into the cosmic pot. But all of us have our own type of spice, our own type of taste, our own type of expression. And it breaks through that notion of that we're all supposed to be the same, the hive mind, I want to call it, which is that opposite of individualized free will. So I'm just finding myself shifting from that sticky person with all of its problems to the presence that is actually already freedom itself. So it starts within before it starts without. I'm seeing the power of that awareness, that imagination, being Christ within you. You are God, experiencing itself, experiencing its own manifestation, its own play. And there really is no limit other than the ones that we buy onto. And when I'm saying you're the creator, I very much mean so you are the creator. Notice this. If you say that it's true, it's true. If you say that it's real, it is real. It is whatever you would like to say it is. We are creating our own cage that doesn't even exist. We are entirely suffering from the mind itself. Not in actuality and not in actual presence. Now, I'm not bypassing things with this non-dual type of energy. I'm grounding it into just the everyday play of experience. And I'm starting to see we are all headed to the same place. Right? Now, everyone has their own level of consciousness in this ride. But I feel the whole meaning of this is literally that we forget just to remember. We pretend to not know just to end up knowing again. We forget who we are, what we are, to actually just end up remembering. But not everyone wants to do that. And I get that because ignorance, I don't judge it. There's not this judgment no more because once you see everyone is really you, there's this book I'm supposed to write. It's called It's Always You. I don't know how it's going to come out, but you get where I'm getting to. It is always you. So there really is nothing to fear. Everything you're interacting with, this is all happening within your consciousness. I'm just I'm just another reflection of that energy speaking to you in that dream. So you're the dreamer. This is all consciousness, man. You're going to transform the old nightmare into heaven on earth. That is what the second coming is, bro. That is the Christ consciousness, the unity consciousness that is really coming in. So we transcend that trivial, fragmented, ego mind identity of separation that I'm missing something right now, that there is something that I need to, like a hungry ghost, chase after. You start from the notion of being already whole and complete as you are. There's nothing outside of you. That is what I'm getting to. There's no fear at all, not in this state. That it's all coming from the I am. It is like a slinky dropping from dimension to dimension, from the unseen causal plane all the way down here. So it's really interesting. Can you, more powerfully than believing, can you know that you already are what you desire to be? Because if I do not desire it, it means that I already am it. I'm not looking from it. You're creating from that I am space. You're creating from that source God creator light. You're not missing anything. And I saw the biggest illusion, the mirage of like I'm looking for something out there when really it's all within. Nothing really to wait for. What you're reaching for, you already possess. What you're looking for, you already are. Do not hear this with the ego or the mind. Things will flow naturally when we are attuned to the self. When we're fully in tune with the self, things will flow naturally. You don't have to plan anything. It's gonna flow. But we have to shut off that mind that is cutting that connection off. So there's no permission. You're free right now. The only cage was the one that didn't exist. It was self-created. So if you can create your own prison, you can create your own paradise, all within your consciousness. Because eventually that is all what this is. Now I'm just sharing from my own unique perspective right now. The answer you're looking for is already within you. It's already there. We fall asleep into this false reality, totally forgetting. Totally forgetting. We're completely asleep, man. Complete amnesia. We fall into this character that has all these, issues and shit. But you're now waking up from that. So take what you feel from this. Return to the I am, Don't be a freaking spiritual, drifter though. That it's just like, like not doing anything. You're simply getting out of the way and letting the source literally express through you. You're just a vessel now. You become a vessel for the energy. It flows through you naturally. There's nothing to think about. Thinking has been the main block to that knowing. So just remember that. Return to yourself. Everything else will flow from there. Experience, evolve. It's always you, don't you see? It's always you. Are you afraid of your own shadow? The shadow on the reflection, right? There's nothing to fear, man. I am that I am. The abundance, it's your natural state. Peace, natural state. This is all about just returning to your natural state. You were never designed to live solely through the mental and emotional body. So you were created to be the creator, A piece of God that dropped, the gods that came down, is you. So let what is false die. And let what is true be born in you. You have to sometimes die before you die. Metaphorically. You have to die to what you're not, to eventually be rebirthed into what you eternally are. To stop looking, stop chasing, stop explaining, validation, all this stuff. Simply align, embody, and emanate. You know what I mean? Freedom is upon you. Freedom is you. Feel that.